Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. A lot of information I want to share with you guys in this video. We've got active buoys, bizarre seismographs. We're also in the middle of Mercury's retrograde. I'm going to show you Mercury on the SOHO LASCO C3 instrument. Looking at today's UV from Southeast Phoenix, the anticipated UV was 9.5. I took a measurement at high noon, and this is the reading I got, a 12.1, which is a summertime reading in May, which is still spring in the Northern Hemisphere. Also over here at the homepage of the website, new photo sent in by Mr. Guy out of Princeton, Minnesota. You can see a very photogenic low-to-the-ground shelf cloud that spans across the sky as far as you could see. Got a lot of Earth days that need to get caught up on. Here we go. Cat Lover 333, Margaret King, Russell C., April Owens, JT out of Denver, Brian S., and Pam Feister, all birthdays on May 16th. Allie Burns, Athena Lindell, birthdays on May 17th. Kimber O'Keefe, Sherilyn V., Geyer T., Amanda Dixon, celebrated birthdays yesterday, and Mark Russell's Earth Day is today. Hope you guys all had a wonderful day. Coming back up here to the top of the website, quick look at the Schumann resonance. You can see there's been a major spike in the last 12 hours. Sources unknown. Coming over to the GOES X-ray flux, looking at any possible major solar flares, and there have been 3 M-class solar flares in the last 24 hours. No X flares. Here's the region the activity is coming from. Right here's a large active region that is growing, that does now contain what they call delta magnetics. There's beta, there's gamma, and there's delta. When the active region contains all 3, it could produce X flares, and the reason we keep such a close eye on this is because if we have an X flare like we saw back in 1859, known as the Carrington event, and it was one of the largest Earth-directed X flares ever recorded. If we were to have one in today's world, as much as we depend on electricity, we wouldn't have electricity if we received an X flare like we saw back in 1859. We wouldn't have electricity for an extended period of time. So that's why I keep such a close eye on these active regions and the GOES X-ray flux, because of what happened back in 1859. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera, looking at the seismographs that monitor the mighty supervolcano. A little bit of earthquake activity in the center of the caldera at Little West Thumb. Up here at the north part of the caldera, Mammoth Vault, we see dark blue, which represents magma intrusion, and then for whatever reasons, an absence of data. But right now, no major activity at the supervolcano caldera. Coming over to the USGS seismographs, the black signatures that you see on here are from this morning's 6.9 earthquake down near New Zealand, just north of Antarctica. But I wanted to show you guys something that occurred prior to the large earthquake, and that was an unusual reading that showed up on this seismograph right here that is positioned out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, just above the equator, and for reasons unknown, mysterious reasons, this created a diamond shape in the middle of the seismograph, and this occurred during the overnight hours last night, and have no idea why. Here's the 6.9 earthquake right here, spanning across the entire graph, but for some reason, about 8 hours before the large earthquake, you could see a diamond that formed in the middle of the graph. Again, that's a first. I've seen a lot of different things on these seismographs over here, but I've never seen anything quite like that. Coming over here to the GOES 16, looking at the current weather situation in the Central Plains, once again, you see major storm activity starting to develop across most of the Central Plains, and this activity is moving from west to east. Coming over here to the Storm Prediction Center, this is the outlook for today, May 19th. You have 2 what look like avocados on the map. If you're in the center of these avocados, especially in the very center, you have a chance for tornadoes today, large hail, high winds, and quite possibly flash flooding. The areas include far eastern Nebraska, most of Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, most of Wisconsin, And then down in southern Illinois, southeastern Missouri, most of Kentucky, southern Indiana, and parts of southwestern Ohio. Very large area that could see a lot of active weather this afternoon and into this evening. Large hail, high winds, and quite possibly a tornado here and there. We're also in the middle of the retrograde of Mercury. I'm going to show you guys Mercury as it's moving through the field of view over here at the Soho Lasco C3 instrument. It's kind of hard to see, but it is in the field of view over here on the left-hand side, moving from left to right. See it right there? That's Mercury in retrograde. And where it's going to go, it's going to sweep right through here. It's going to look like it's going backwards. And you can read more about the retrograde of Mercury at the link down below in the description box. I want to take you guys now back over here to the homepage of the website. And we're going to nullschool.net. There's a storm headed towards the Gulf of Mexico. And it's not a storm that contains rain. It's a storm that contains copious amounts of Sahara sand. It's on the way. It'll be here in about 48 hours. The map you're looking at is for May 21st of 2022. Less than 48 hours from now, there's going to be a large swath of Sahara sand make its way up into the Gulf of Mexico, eventually filling the entire Gulf of Mexico, occupying all of the shoreline you see here on this map. The 21st is going to impact the Florida Panhandle and parts of southern Mississippi, Alabama, and southern Georgia. We're going to step it forward in time, and you're going to see the sand move up into New Orleans, southern Louisiana, over into Texas, all along the coast of Mexico. This is a very thick, nasty plume of sand that's making its way towards the Gulf of Mexico right now as I do this video. Look at how thick this is. This is on the 22nd. That looks like a dust storm we'd see out here in Arizona. Unbelievable. And this is going to go on for several days. So if you're in these areas, just be prepared for skies that are going to be sand filled for several days in a row. And this Sahara sand is going to make its way up the eastern seaboard, occupying most of the state of Florida. And you can see how it's got all of the coastline inside the Gulf of Mexico just covered in Sahara sand. And this is May 24th. So it's going to start on the 21st. It's making its way in right now as I do this video, and then be hanging around for several days in a row. Looks like the 22nd is going to be very thick. If you're in the Florida Panhandle, my friend Brian in Navarro, Florida, going to be right in the middle of all that Sahara sand. The only bonus to this is you could see some incredible sunrises and sunsets, but if I was in this area, I would definitely consider wearing a mask if you're outside for at least any length of time. That is going to be a large-scale, long-duration sand event, and there's more coming. It's made the 4,000-mile journey across the Atlantic Ocean, and it's now in the southern Caribbean, making its way up into the Gulf of Mexico, occupying pretty much all of the coastline of the Gulf of Mexico. I want to take you guys up to the sun right now. This morning, May 19th, around 12 Universal Time, there was a long filament of plasma that jumped off of the southwestern limb of the sun. I put it in slow motion, zoomed in. That's a long plasma. It looks like a filament. That's a CME that came off the sun with I think it was an M-class solar flare, not Earth-directed, just very photogenic. You don't see those very often, and that's one of those that was definitely indeed photogenic, and solar activity is on the rise. We could see X-flares as the sun is now primed, once again with delta magnetics that definitely have the capability to produce large X-class solar flares. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.